The Sarah Boone docket is officially listed as closed. Now, with that being said, I don't know if that means she can no longer attempt to submit letters to the judge like she did even after sentencing. If that's the case, Sarah will probably be looking for another avenue to release them. Her new appeals attorney is Alan Holland. I don't think they'll be releasing letters on her behalf, just my guess. Now, there are multiple documents submitted to the court finally, ending this off, and I thought I would show any of them that I find kind of interesting and maybe you would find interesting as well. So let's begin with this one here. Sentence as to count 001. The defendant being personally before this court, accompanied by the defendant's attorney of record, David Verrett, Winston Hobson, yes, they put his name twice, Rachel Fugate, James Owens, Kevin Beck, Tony Henderson, and having been adjudicated guilty herein, and the court having given the defendant an opportunity to be heard and to offer matters in mitigation of sentence, and to show cause why the defendant should not be sentenced as provided by law, and no cause being shown, it is the sentence of the court that the defendant is hereby committed to the custody of the Department of Corrections to be imprisoned for a term of life. Jail credit. It is further ordered that the defendant shall be allowed a total of 14 years, 9 months, 8 days as credit for being time incarcerated before imposition of the sentence. Yeah, so that being said, that is obviously a typo and they will fix it. And the event the above sentence of the Department of Correction, the Sheriff of Orange County, is hereby ordered and directed to deliver the defendant to the Department of Corrections at the facility designated by the department, together with a copy of this judgment and sentence and any other document specified by Florida statute. The defendant in open court was advised of the legal right to appeal of the sentence by filing notice of appeal within 30 days from the state with the clerk of this court, and the defendant's right to assistance of counsel taking the appeal at the expense of the state and showing of indigence. I always say that word wrong when I haven't said it for a while. I'm going to move this light here. My eye is just waking up. I got delayed. There was family stuff going on yesterday, so I didn't get a good night's sleep. An elderly person fell. So sorry if I'm a little tired. I do have my monster. I'm working through it. I suspect that same situation might have me busy later today, so while I have a moment, I'm doing the video. If it seems a little rushed, I do apologize. So here we have the court costs and fees order. Local government criminal trust fund pursuant, crimes compensation fund, crime justice trust fund. I think that was $3. It's like, as you can see, it's very small. Criminal county ordinance, clerk crime prevention trust fund, clerk crime stoppers trust fund, clerk's ordinance teen court trust fund, local criminal justice education fund, repaid to the state of Florida for the cost of prosecution, $100, and $50 indigence application fee if not previously collected or waived pursuant to section. I will say it's funny to me that there is a listed fee for if you are you're implying that you don't have money, but I guess it does get waived. As you can see, signed by the judge. So here we have something I thought was interesting because this is signed by Sarah Boone, and we can see her writing her letters and signing her name. This is the Affidavit of Insolvency for purpose of appeal. Personally appear before me the above named defendant, Sarah K. Boone, who being first duly sworn by me, deposes and says under oath that she is totally insolvent, utterly and unable to pay the charges, costs, or fees in this cause, either in whole or part, and that she has no property or other means of payment, either in his/her possession or under his/her control, that she has not divested himself, herself of any property, either real or personal, for the purpose of receiving benefit from this oath, that she at this time is wholly without funds, unless this court makes and enters an order adjudicating this defendant insolvent for purposes of appeal, she will be deprived of his or her right under the law. This affiant offers himself, herself up to the court now, or at such future time the court may see fit, for the purpose of further examination into his/her insolvency. Affiant further says that she has been informed that a lien for the value of the services rendered by the public defender's court appointed counsel may be filed and pressed by law on any property that she now has or may hereafter. That affiant has further been informed that before any such lien is filed and impressed, she will provide with the notice of hearing for purposes of being heard as to any such lien. So I'm assuming she's just going to get this because obviously she has no money. So here we have restitution and DNA order. This cause having come to be heard as required by law regarding the restitution, if any, the defendant should be required to make pursuant to those Florida statutes. An order of restitution may be enforced by the state or a victim named in the order by the same manner as a judgment on a civil action, and that default payment in restitution may be collected by any means authorized by law enforcement of a judgment. Therefore, it is. Restitution is ordered at this time. However, additional information is needed from the victim. The court retains jurisdiction to determine the correct amount of restitution at a later date. From the victim. And the defendant shall provide DNA samples as required by Florida statute. I don't know why it says from the victim. Maybe it's is the victim in this case the state? Maybe. But what's so interesting is if I scroll down, there's the victim's name and victim's address. Maybe it's DNA testing they did on George's body. I am not sure. I was already scrolled down here. So this is the criminal punishment code score sheet. So as you can see here, this is dated on the 2nd, and we have the date of birth. Race is listed as other. Why? Maybe Sarah Boone had to be like, I wonder if they asked Sarah Boone these questions and she just refused to answer, so they just put other. She's obviously white, right? Second degree murder is offense level 10, 116 points. Second degree murder down here with the victim injury is 240 points. I'm getting annoyed by the green screen not working right now. If I move the light. So none of these. There's a subtotal. There's a subtotal. And the lowest permissible sentence is 264 months, which, of course, she got life, as they say at the bottom there. She got life. Judge's signature, life. And reasons for departure, there was no departure. She just earned it. She earned it. We got a little more here. So here is a correction. Amended sentence to correct credit for time served. And as you can see here, they still messed up the judges, but they did remove the one. So now it's down to the 4 years, 9 months, and 8 days. I wonder if Sarah, if she makes a letter, if she's aware of this mistake, I wonder if she'll try to complain about this and by the year mistake, even though it's corrected. That seems like a very Sarah Boone thing. Oh, they got the year wrong, therefore free me, right? So here we have the amended order of deposition, correct, they misspelled correct. This is part of why I decided to actually do this. I was thinking about not even covering it, but some of this, I'm just like, and here they have, were there two but the same name? Because they have the same, maybe this copy pasted. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, second degree murder, first degree punishment by life, previously adjudicated guilty. You're hereby ordered to serve a term of life in the Florida Department of Corrections. You're hereby ordered to serve with credit for 4 years, 9 months. And we have the court minutes, sworn and testified, defense sworn and testified. We have all the people that spoke, adjudicated guilty, and we have a signature of Michael Kranick. And that's good. And we have a final one here. We have the court verification form. And we have verified as legitimate. Please explain amended to correct credit time. So it was a correction. And we have the signature of the judge. So, Sarah Boone, if she's aware of these corrections, my expectation is she's going to twist it in her head where this means that now she should be set free because it's Sarah Boone, right? And I suspect she's going to want to annoy that um, lawyer doing her appeal. Now, a lot of people have pointed out that from the understanding that they have, and I have, is that the appeal lawyer doesn't technically have to deal with Sarah at all. But we have to remember, if she still has any fans, because remember, that sentencing was something else. But she had people that supported her. She had people outside contacting her lawyers. She's mentioned in the past that she did that. And is she going to have people harass her appeals lawyer, right? And that's another thing where I asked at the beginning if the closed on the docket means that it's over, right? Does it mean that it's over? Does it mean that she can't submit letters anymore? And theoretically, she could send them out of the jail to someone who's a fan, right? And they could submit them online or post them somewhere. Because Sarah wants the world to know, right? Sarah wants the world to know what she thinks and what she cares about, what she has to say. She wants the world to care about her and think about her positively. She doesn't want you to be thinking about her negatively. And I would not be shocked if Sarah stops writing letters to the judge if she can't, and starts trying to make more letters to the public, specifically like asking or try to change public perception, because in Sarah's mind, she still doesn't think she did anything wrong, right? Everyone else wronged her. So what can save her at this point? And the answer, of course, is going to probably be nothing. Except, from my understanding, she could be pardoned by the governor of Florida. So I would not be shocked at all if we get a Sarah Boone letter release where she's trying to get people on her side to contact the governor of Florida on her behalf, try to get her out. Because Sarah 100% thinks she's so important that he will. She voted for the governor and the president while in jail. She made sure to very much tell people that. But this could be pretty much the last we get from the filings. And I kind of wanted to make a quick video just because completeness sake at this point, right? Just kind of cover it all. And the small errors that I mentioned in this, if Sarah Boone knows about them, that she's going to be so focused on somehow this will save her, right? She is that type of person. If she can get another message out, I think we'll get one before Christmas. I really do. I don't think Sarah Boone can keep herself silent that long. If we don't get one by Christmas, I could expect one by New Year's, some sort of a message insulting the world about how her son didn't call her for Christmas and she has no money for commissary because of her civil case, and they aren't giving her alimony that she wants, or whatever. I have a couple other cases that I've taken some time to look at, but I haven't had as much time as I'd like. But I do still check the Sarah Boone docket. As you can see here, date 12/17. This is 12/18 when this is being recorded. I made a post in the community tab on YouTube. If you're subscribed, I think it shows up more often, explaining that there were documents, but they weren't public yet. So I will keep checking as long as things can still be filed to that document. Obviously, if I'm told nothing else can be filed, I won't check. That would be nice for me to know. But if technically things can still be filed while it's closed, I will keep checking a couple times a day just in case. I really want to thank everyone for tuning in to all the content with Sarah Boone. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know for some people it's all that they watch the channel for. This could be the end unless she does some jail interview or something, which is entirely possible, right? We can never count Sarah Boone out. Especially prison. Prison is going to be. I don't think she's there yet until her civil case is done. She'll probably be held in jail, which means she'll probably delay her civil case because prison is going to be a whole new beast because she's going to have a whole new group. She's going to have her conviction behind her, and I don't think people at the prison are going to be as easily tricked by Sarah Boone like she tricked a few people in that jail. To put it that way, I think that Sarah is either going to constantly be in trouble in the jail with other inmates, other issues, or Sarah Boone starts her cult because I mentioned it before that she has that personality where she probably thinks she can do that to like get some sort of power over people. I would if I heard that Sarah Boone was charged for attacking someone in a prison, I would not be shocked as well. She was violent outside of prison. Why wouldn't she be violent in? But it's been something else. I was rewatching some people's coverage of like her sentencing the other day, and I sent it to a couple people who hadn't seen it yet, and it's just shocking to them. And it's just like imagine just seeing her act like that constantly, but also always think she's in the right. It's something that really pulled people in uniquely. With that being said, it is exactly a week until Christmas, so I don't have any video plans for the next week. Like, I don't have anything planned out. If something pops up, I might cover it. I have a video, if you haven't seen it, on Mike Lindell filing a RICO lawsuit against people that gave him a loan for money, which he's very desperate for. I have some stuff on Luigi, which YouTube doesn't like, and it will suppress that type of video, but it's there. I thought it was important enough to cover at least the indictment. I don't know what else I've been covering lately. Not much because I've been mostly doing family stuff and spending time with my friends in some like online games when we have the chance where we all play the same thing, which is rare. We all play the same thing. But let me take a look here. Anything you might have missed? Talked about the New Jersey drones. That was kind of interesting. Melody Ferris sentencing. I think that video is really good. If you haven't seen the Melody Ferris sentencing, I highly recommend you check it out. And there might be a Matt Gaetz update soon. The reason for that is Matt Gaetz, if you haven't followed politics at all, Matt Gaetz, he was accused of, how do I want to word this? Paying a 17-year-old for improper acts, possibly, across state lines, along with a bunch of other stuff. There was a House ethics investigation. He literally quit the House to hide the investigation, to kill it, because they were going to release the report. He got appointed by Trump as a nominee for Attorney General of the United States. And people still talked about releasing that report. He then backed out of that. The report was not released. He was then announced as I think it was a newscaster for OAN. And then this morning, it got out there that there was a surprise vote last night to release the report. So it's coming probably this week. And I'll probably cover that maybe. Matt Gaetz has already responded and he sounds extremely worried, and he's like, yeah, maybe I sent girls money and partied too much and drank too much, and so that's not looking too good for him. So that's something that I will keep an eye on. If that interests you, keep watching the channel, because I'll probably cover that, because that's an evolving story that I followed for a while. But with that being said, it's might be the end of Sarah Boone. It might be. I've said that many times, though, and we see how that always ends up.